morning, class.
Good morning, teachers.
Okay, before you sit down, may I call on Mala to lead the prayer.
I'm going to أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Mala, so before you sit down, please arrange your chairs and settle down. Sit down. Okay, you may sit down.
Thank you, ma'am.
First and foremost, I am going to introduce my name. I am teacher Yana Naslaji, and together with me is mom. I am teacher Anisa, and I am teacher Maylene Abdulani, and I am teacher Rhea Mahmoud. So, before we are going to start in our topic, I would like to request all to please stand up to do that energizer. Me and your other teachers will teach you the steps. Alam niyo ba yung kantang Peel, Banana? Peel, peel, banana, yes?
Yes.
Very good. So, I need an energy. Okay, guys?
Yes.
Power?
Power.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Peel.
Banana, peel, peel, banana, chop, banana, chop, chop, banana.
Shake, banana. Shake, shake, banana. Eat, banana. Eat, banana.
Okay, round of applause. Thank you. Bago tayo pupunta sa ating talakayan, may hinanda akong pahapyaw dito. So when you see these pictures, what comes into your mind? Abby?
Society.
Okay, maraming salamat. Sino pa ang maaaring sumagot? Oro?
Financial.
Okay, maraming salamat. And lastly, Mary Jane?
Nung nakita ko po ma'am yung video, pumasok ko agad nang sa isip ko ay yung kasiyahan ko kasi may pera po doon. Thank you po ma'am.
Wala pong mali sa inyo, no? Someone said it is happiness. Really, the money itself, it is really happiness. And someone said it is a society. Connected siya, money society, kasi we people, na society, we need the money. Dito na nga magsisimula ang ating talakayan. Ang patungkol sa financial literacy.
Okay. Some of you gave your thoughts and opinions when you hear the words financial literacy. So let's go back to the topic. So here's the meaning of financial literacy class. It is a core life skill in an increasingly complex world where people need to take charge of their own finances, budget, financial choices, managing risks, saving, credit, and financial transactions. Another definition of financial literacy class, it is a poor financial decision can have a long-lasting impact on individuals, their families, and the society caused by the lack of financial literacy. Another thing is, financial literacy, it is the ability to make informed judgments and make effective decisions regarding the use and management of money. Hence, teaching financial literacy yields better financial management. Okay, so financial literacy will not just focus on the positive thing, guys, right? Another thing, positive is the advantage. So hindi lamang po tayo mag-focus doon kasi pag sabihin natin in financial literacy, it is broad, right? Ang pumapasok agad sa isip natin ay ang mga advantage. Wherein, there is a disadvantage. Kapag sinabi kong disadvantage, yun na yung meron tayong poor financial. Wherein, it can have impact on the individuals, such as our families, and the societies, dahil na lamang sa kakulangan ng financial literacy. Kasi bakit? First and foremost, when we say financial, it is all about the money. Pero pag sinabi na nating financial literacy, dito na papasok kung gusto mo, kung paano mo ma-handle ang isang money, paano ka magba-budget, and ano yung mga gagawin mo kapag hawak mo na itong mga financial. So we are done in the definition of financial literacy. So, pupunta naman tayo ngayon kung paano nga bang kaimportanteng itong financial literacy, lalong-lalo na sa mga kabataan ngayon. Kayo, class? Okay, this is the importance of starting financial literacy while still young. So, financial education should begin as early as possible and be taught in schools. Ibig sabihin, ang financial literacy ay dapat maturuan na siya in terms of education at maturuan na siya habang mas bata pa ang mga estudyante. And another thing is financial education is a long-term process, and incorporating it into the curricula from an early age allows the children acquire the knowledge and skills while building responsible financial behavior throughout each stage of their education according to OECD 2005. So, ibig sabihin, no, yung financial education, it is a long-term process po talaga. Lalong-lalo na, inaalaw ito sa mga early age na buksan ang knowledge patungkol sa financial literacy. Tinuturo na po ito kung ano i-build yung behavior nila responsible through the financial behavior. So, another thing is gaano ba siya ka-important? It is the capability of a person to handle her assets, especially cash, more efficiently while understanding how money works in the real world. Okay, tama. So, pag sinabi kasi nating money, some of the mindset of the people, while that's here, while that's there, when hindi po nila talaga alam kung ano po ang real definition ng financial para sa ating buhay. So, ngayon, importante talaga tong kapag habang mas bata pa, importante sa inyo class ang mag-start ng financial literacy. Kung paano ba ito gagana at para malaman nyo kung ano nga ba to sa totoong realidad. We will able to know what the importance of financial literacy as long as young age. Okay, ngayon, kung gusto nyo naman po magkaroon ng planning, ibig sabihin plano. So, dadako naman tayo sa financial plan. So, the following are steps in creating financial plans. The first one is the calculating net worth. It is the amount by which assets exceed liabilities. Number 2, determining cash flow. A financial plan is knowing where money goes every month. Number 3, considering the priorities. The core of a financial plan is the person's clearly defined costs that may include retirement, strategy, comprehensive risk, long-term investment plan, and task reduction strategy. So, if some of you have a different mindset of financial plan, pero dito talaga ako mag-stick sa determining cash flow. Kasi bakit? Ito do yung financial plan na kung saan for example, ako may pera ako. Hindi ko siya ginagamit na kung saan lamang, but instead I'm using this para iipon ko ito. So yun yung determining cash flow. So dito naman sa calculating net worth, dito naman is kada ipon mo, kada buwan, syempre you will able to calculate it to know kung magkano na ang naipon mo. And another thing is considering the priorities. Ito naman is dito naman yung considering the priorities, kung may gusto kang bilihin or mag-i-invest ka like ganito ganyan, you should consider the things that financial plan is the person clearly defines that may include retirement strategies, comprehensive risks, and tax reduction strategy. Okay, class, now we are done and let's move on to the 5 financial improvement strategies. So, kung ikaw ay magasto, this lesson will help you to improve your financial strategies. So, we have 5 here. Number 1 is identify your starting point. Calculating the net worth is the best way to determine both current financial status and progress over time to avoid financial trouble by spending too much on wants and nothing enough for the needs. So, dito pa lang no, sa identify your starting point class, ang ibig sabihin ay kapag you have the money already, you should identify kung ano nga ba ang kailangan mo. Please, do not spend it with only your wants, but spend it kung kailangan mo ba ito. Number 2 is set your priorities. Making a list of rated needs and wants can help set financial priorities. So, dito sa set of priorities, if you will able to identify your starting point, dito is magsaset ka na kung ano yung mga needs na kailangan mong bilhin. So, dito no, magiging priority mo siya, which it can help you to lessen the what do you call this one class? Lessen the spending too much. Okay? So dito sa set your priorities, only your needs that must have an order to survive. So it's such as food, shelter, clothing, healthcare, and transportation. Okay? So yung mga kailangan mo lamang, your necessity needs, especially to your body, pang-araw-araw mong pangkabuhayan. Another thing is document your spending. One of the best ways to figure out and what get lists, Bachelor of Personal Spending Plan, a budget list down income and expenses to help meet financial obligations. So dito sa document your spending, you should write kung ano yung mga na-spend mo and to be able to para hindi mo mahanap kung ano yung mga na-spend mo and you are sure kung yung na-spend mo ba ay tama at exact sa financial na meron ka. Number 4 is lay down your debt. Living with debt is costly not because of interest and fees, but it can also prevent people from getting ahead with their financial goals. Okay, kung mahilig kayong mangutang, so expect wala kayong magiging financial. So, dito sa lay down your debt, iset aside nyo muna guys yung mga utang na meron kayo. Kasi, at the end, kahit ipon ng ipon kayo, kahit magkakaroon kayo ng financial, kung palautang naman kayo, then wala tayong ma-expect, kundi zero pa din. And the last step to improve your financial strategies is secure your financial future. Retirement is an uncontrollable stage in a worker's life, of which counterpart are losing the job, suffering from illness or injury, or be forced to care for a loved one that may lead to an unplanned retirement. Therefore, knowing more about retirement option is an essential part of securing financial future. So dito no, sa secure your financial future, hindi lang kayo magwawaldas ng pera sa mga sabihin na natin may needs kayo, but not all that money will spend there. Kasi, dito sa financial future, hindi kasi natin alam kung anong mangyayari, what future brings us there, okay? So, like for example, we have an emergency like our families, magkakaroon ng illness, right? One of our family members. So, in case, if you have that financial, natatago mo lang siya, and by that day, syempre, maitutulong mo yun para sa kanya. So, we are here now in our financial goal planning and setting. So, setting goals though, guys, is very important part of the life. Especially in financial planning, bago tayo mag-invest ng money, we will first consider setting for some financial goals. So, financial goals are targets, usually driven by specific future financial needs, such as saving for a comfortable retirement, sending children to the college, or enabling a home purchase. So, Dito sa financial goal, no, planning and setting, bago ka mag-invest ng money, kailangan mo munang alamin kung para saan mo ito gagamitin in the future. So we have the time horizon. It indicates the time when the money will be needed. Ibig sabihin, dito sa time horizon, if you are able to nakapagtago ka ng pera, pagpapasok na dito si time horizon, if you have that money, wherein may emergency, right? Class? Okay. So, magagamit mo na siya. It means, in that time horizon, you will able to come up sa future mo. Like, hindi mo alam yung mangyayari, pero handa ka dahil sa pag-ipong meron ka, may mai-spend ka doon. Another is, we have the risk tolerance, liquidity needs, and investment goals, growth, increase, and stability. Okay, class, to summarize those topics about the financial literacy, you should be wiser. I-set aside kung once nyo lamang ang gusto nyo i-spend, but the important thing is to spend the needs. So, there are strategies to go further. Malalaman nyo din kung paano ang mga tips para malalesen yung spending nyo through financial. So, which will be discussed by the other teachers. So, please, Ma'am Rhea.
Ngayon ay dumako naman tayo sa budget and budgeting. Ano nga bang budget and budgeting? A budget is an estimation of revenue and expenses over a specified future period of time and is usually complied and re-evaluated on a periodic basis. So, meaning nito ay ang budget ay isang plano kung saan tinatansya ang kita at mga gastos sa isang takdang panahon. Ginagawa rin ito upang masubaybayan ang perang pumapasok at lumalabas at kadalasang nire-review o binabago paminsan-minsan para masigurong nasusunod ang plano ng paggastos. Next ay ang 7 steps to good budgeting. Step 1. Set realistic goals. Dito sa step 1 is nagde-decide ka na kung anong gusto mong ma-achieve gamit ang iyong pera, like saving for education or buying a new phone. But make sure your goals are achievable. Step 2, identify income and expenses. So dito is nililis mo na yung money na nare-receive mo and yung mga money na nagagastos mo. Step 3, separate needs from wants. So dito sa step 3, dito is pinifigure out which expenses are essential, like mga needs mo, like buy ka ng rent, o bibili ka ng groceries. Yun yung mga needs mo. So, step 4, design your budget. Ito sa step 4 is gagawa na kayo ng budget plan. Kung saan pinaplano nyo na kung paano or kung saan nyo gagamitin ang pera nyo. Step 5, put your plan into action. So dito, iayon mo na ang paggastos sa iyong kita. So, tutukuyin ng maaga kung paano gastusin ang bawat sweldo. So, iwasang umasa sa mga credit para sa mga pang-araw-araw na gastusin upang hindi malubog sa utang. Step 6, plan for seasonal expenses. So, dito is magtabi ka ng pera para sa mga di inaasahang gastusin upang maiwasan mabaon sa utang. Step 7, look ahead. So, maaaring abutin ng 1 o 2 buwan bago maging matatag ang iyong budget. Kaya humingi ng tulong kung hindi nagiging maayos ang sitwasyon. Dito naman tayo sa spending. So, these are the following practical strategies in setting and prioritizing budget goals and spending plan. So, number 1, start by listing your goals. So, dito, isusulat mo na yung lahat ng goals mo. Tulad ng pag-save para sa isang vacation, o pagpili ng bagong laptop. Number 2, divide your goals according to how long it will take to meet each goal. So dito, tutukuyin mo na kung gaano katagal mo nais o gustong matupad goal na yun. So number 3, estimate the cost of each goal and find out how much it costs. So dito, aalamin mo na kung ano ang eksaktong halaga na kailangan para sa goal na yon. Number 4 is project future cost. So dito, isaalang-alang na ang posibleng pagtaas ng presyo or inflation. 5. Calculate how much to spend on time. Good. So dito, tutukuyin na ang halaga na dapat punin kada buwan o linggo. Number 6, prioritize your goals. So dito, i-arrange na ang mga goal or batay sa kanilang halagaan. Bawa, mas mataas ang function kumpara sa kaya maglalaan ka ng budget. So, sa ganitong paraan, mas madali mong maaabot ang iyong mga layunin sa pamamagitan ng maayos na pagpaplano at pag-organize ng data. So, next is ang 4 aspects. So, number 1 is how long will you invest the money? Time horizon. So, ito ay tumutukoy sa kung gaano katagal mong balak na iwan ang pera sa isang investment bago mo ito kukunin or kailanganin. So, number 2, how much money do you expect your investment to earn each year? Expectation of return. Dito, tinutukoy nito ang iyong inaasahang kita mula sa investment bawat taon based sa performance ng investment. So, number 3, how much of your investment are you willing to lose in the short term in order to earn more in the long term? So, risk tolerance. So, dito ay nagpapakita na kung gaano ka komportable o kadesidido sa mga posibleng pagkalugi sa maikling panahon kapalit ng mas mataas na kita sa hinaharap. Number 4 is what types of investment interests you? Investment type. Dito tinutukoy yung mga klase ng investments tulad ng stocks, bonds, real estate, o mutual funds. So, dito na tayo sa savings and emergency saving funds. So, sa saving, in order to get out of debt, it is important to set some money aside and put it into a savings account on a regular basis. Yung pag-iipon, ito yung pera na itinatabi mo para sa pangmatagalan o para sa mga bagay na nais mo makamit sa hinaharap, tulad ng pagbili ng bahay. Ang pag-ipon ay isa ring paraan upang mapalago ang iyong pera. Ang emergency saving funds, ito ay ang mga pera na itinatabi mo para sa mga hindi inaasahang pangyayari tulad ng biglang pagkakasakit, pagkawala ng trabaho, o aksidente. Madaling salita, ang pag-iipon ay para sa mga nais mong paghandaan sa hinaharap. Samantalang ang emergency saving funds ay para sa mga biglaang gastusin o sitwasyon na hindi mo inaasahan. So, here are the 10 reasons why we need to save money. Number 1 is to become financially independent. Number 2, to save on everything you buy. Number 3, to buy a home or a car. Number 4, to prepare for the future. Number 5, to get out debt. Number 6, to augment annual expenses. Number 7, to respond to emergencies. Number 8, to mitigate losing your job or getting hurt. Number 9, to have a good life.
So now let's discuss about common financial scam. So we have 5 examples of common financial scam. So first is we have phishing. Second, social media scam. Third is phone scam. Fourth is stolen credit card number. And the last is identity theft. So first is phishing. So yung phishing, ito yung mga ginagawa ng mga tao is nagpapanggap sila na mapapagkatiwalaan in online transaction. And dito is nagsasend sila ng mga link na kung saan pag nag-click ng victim is magkakaroon ng possible na malalaman nila mga important information like username or password and etc. So third is phone scam. So yung phone scam, ito yung mga ginagawa ng mga tao is nagsasend sila ng mga fake link or nagtitext sila which is nanalo ng ganito ganyan. So pag nag-click nyo yung yung link na yon is magkakaroon ng possible na ma-access ng scammer yung phone ng victim. Fourth is stolen credit card number. So dito, sila naman yung nagnanakaw ng mga credit card ng victim, and then yung ginagamit nila para gumawa ng online transaction using that credit card. And lastly is identity theft. So dito is, ito yung mga tinatawag natin fraudster, na kung saan gumagawa sila ng isang account na gamit yung pangalan ng ibang tao at picture para hindi agad ma-identify yung true identity nila. So now let's proceed to 10 tips to avoid common financial scams. So first, we have never wire money to a stranger. Second, don't give out financial information. Third, never click on hyperlinks in emails. Fourth is use difficult password. Fifth, never give your social security number. 7 is install antivirus and spyware protection. 7 is don't shop with unfamiliar online retailers. 8 is don't download software from pop-up windows. 9 is make sure that the website you visit are safe. And the last is donate to no charity only. So when we say employer-sponsored insurance, ito yung insurance na karaniwang binibigay ng mga company sa employee nila tulad na lamang ng health insurance, dental, vision, or life insurance. So when we say marketplace plans, ito po yung detailed strategy ng isang marketplace o lugar na kung saan nagaganap yung pagbili at pagbenta ng isang produkto o serbisyo. So when we say naman life insurance, ito naman yung pagbibili ng insurance sa family ng isang taong pumanaw na. Ito yung financial support na binibigay sa family. Prepared Plus means ito yung life insurance na kung saan insured and qualified yung isang tao. Pero mababa lang yung insurance na ibibigay sa kanila. Mababa lang yung rates ng insurance na ibibigay sa kanila. So yung preferred naman is example sa life insurance. Yung preferred is sila yung mga pwedeng ilapat o i-cover na mga taong may mga kaya naman pagdating sa kabuhayan. Kumbaga, sila yung nasa low premium o low rates ng life insurance. So yung Standard Plus naman is also a insurance na kung saan ito ay mas mataas kaysa standard at mas mababa kaysa sa preferred. So yung standard naman is ang opposite lang din siya ng Standard Plus na kung saan yung Standard Plus is may mataas na rates pagdating sa life insurance and yung standard is mababa lang siya. So yung substandard naman is ito yung ang ginagamit sa mga medical condition o lifestyle at ito ay maaaring kailanganin magbayad ng mas mataas na rates o premium compared sa standard o preferred. So last is smoker. So when it comes sa financial literacy, yung smoker, may mga tao talaga naglalaan ng pera para sa sigarilyo at sa mga ibang pang-bisyo.
Again, good day to each and everyone. I am your last teacher for presenting the benefits of life insurance. When we say the benefits of life insurance means it refers to the positive outcomes and advantages that come with having a life insurance policy. Life insurance acts as a safety net for your loved ones, offering financial protection and peace of mind in the face of your absence. And here are the benefits of life insurance. The first one is it pays for medical and funeral costs. So imagine, you get sick and need expensive medical care. So life insurance can help pay for those bills even if you cannot work anymore. It also covers the cost of funeral, which can be very expensive. The second benefits of life insurance is for financial support. Means, if you pass away, your family might need money to pay bills or put some foods in the table. So, this life insurance can support or provides that financial support so they can keep their lives going. The third benefits is funding various financial goals. Means, life insurance is not just about emergencies. It can help your loved ones achieve their dreams, like sending their kids to college or starting business or retiring comfortably. Another benefit of life insurance is act as a retirement secured confirmed. This means life insurance can act like a guaranteed income for your retirement years. It's like a safety net if you live longer than expected and run out of money. The next benefits of life insurance is it covers costs incurred from taxes and debts. Means when you pass away, your family might have to pay taxes on your assets or deal with outstanding debts. So this life insurance can help cover those costs so your family does not lose their home or other valuable things. And let's proceed to the types of life insurance. There are 4 types of life insurance, and these are endowment, term, whole life, and variable universal life insurance. And let's proceed to the first type of life insurance, which is endowment insurance. Means this type pays a lump sum to the beneficiary after a specified period or upon the policyholder's death, whichever comes first. And the advantage of endowment insurance is it allows for saving up for specific purposes. And the disadvantage of endowment insurance is it requires higher premiums than other types of life insurance. The second type of life insurance is the term life insurance, meaning this is the simplest type of life insurance providing coverage for a specific period or the term. If the policyholder dies within that term, the beneficiary receives a death benefit. The disadvantage of this term life insurance is it has no benefit if policyholder outlives the term period set. And the advantage of this term life insurance is it entails low premium requirements. The third type of life insurance is whole life insurance. Means this type provides coverage for the policyholder's entire life or until they reach 100 years old. The advantage of this whole life insurance is it offers permanent protection for full life or 100 years. And the disadvantage of this whole life insurance is it requires higher premium. And the last type of life insurance is the variable universal life insurance. This type combines life protection with investment options, allowing the policyholder to invest a portion of their premium in a variety of funds. And the advantage of this variable universal life insurance is it takes dual purpose, life insurance plus investment tool. And the disadvantage of this variable universal life insurance is cash and values and dividends are not guaranteed. And let's proceed about financial stability. When we say financial stability, it's like having a strong foundation for your money. It means you have enough money to pay bills, save for things you want, and feel confident about your future. It is like having a safety net in case something unexpected happens. And there are 10 strategies in reaching financial stability. The first one is make savings automatic. Means set up automatic transfers to your savings account so you don't have to think about it. The second is control your impulsive spending. Means think before you buy things you don't really need. The third is evaluate your expenses and live frugally. Means know where your money is going and find ways to save. The fourth is invest your own future. Means put your money to work for you by investing in things like stocks or bonds. And the fifth is keep your family secure. Means make sure you have insurance to protect your family in case something happens. The next is eliminate and avoid debt. Means try to avoid taking on debt and pay off any debt you have as quickly as possible. The next is use the envelope system. means put your cash into envelopes for different categories like groceries or entertainment or etc. to help you track your spending. And next is pay bills immediately, means pay your bills on time to avoid late fees. And the last is read about personal finances, means learn about money management and how to make smart financial decisions. And let's proceed to the integrating financial literacy into the curriculum. And let's read the first bullet here in integrating financial literacy into the curriculum. The first bullet is the integration of financial literacy into the school curriculum should be part of a broader national strategy involving both the education system and professionals to ensure long-term success. Meaning, financial literacy should be taught in schools, and parents and other professionals should also be involved. The second is a comprehensive learning framework should include goals, outcomes, content, teaching methods, resources, and assessment plans. This framework should cover knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values. Financial literacy should ideally be integrated into core subjects like math, economics, social studies, and more, providing real-life applications across disciplines. Meaning, financial literacy should be taught in a way that is engaging and relevant to students' life. And the last bullet here in integrating financial literacy into the curriculum is teachers should receive proper training, resources, and ongoing support to effectively teach financial literacy. Accessible, high-quality learning tools should be available to schools, and student progress should be evaluated using impactful methods. Additionally, identifying sustainable funding is crucial for the program's success. Means, teachers need to be trained to teach financial literacy, and schools need resources and support to make it happen. And I hope this presentation is informative. Thank you for listening.